Tell the audience how cool you are.
I think that's a strong exaggeration.
Hey, music, roll the music. Welcome to the Dream Big podcast, where we, Jerry, are here to look for the biggest dreamers in the world and tell their story. Our goal with this podcast is to find the most interesting people that have the most interesting stories. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to have Jerry Wootten here. This is the founder of Dreamfit. I have known of your brand for a long time. You have done some unbelievably amazing things, and I've been blessed to spend the day with you today to hear a little bit more about your story. And I know everybody in our industry knows what Dreamfit is. Everybody knows how amazing what you've done to change the industry and continue to make sure that you're evolving and being the best at what we do. You've done some special things. So welcome to Dream Big Podcast, Jerry Wootten. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, man. I've enjoyed the whole day also. Very excited to be here. Well, I enjoy being around you. You're very full of energy. So it kind of pumps me up. So thank you.
Your team is awesome. You are awesome. But let's start from the beginning. Like, tell us your story, because it is an amazing story, and it's a story of grit and determination, and somebody that did not give up, and now is changed the game of mattresses and sleep. Period.
Thank you very much. I started out in textiles, I guess, at 23, 24 years old with Buster Brown Children's Wear. I was assistant manager of quality. I was the youngest guy in management, so I started working up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and of course, after 6 months, I started working on the side. I was just married, needed some extra income, and I started making T-shirts. I used our contractors because my job was oversaw the quality of all the contract sewing. And I thought, well, I can sell some T-shirts here. Actually, my dad's uncle or cousin called him and asked me if I could find a few dozen T-shirts. So by helping my dad's cousin is how I ever got into the textile manufacturing business. So I did that for a few months, and I was laughing when we were talking earlier. I made a few $1,000s for a couple of weeks, and I said, any boy in Alabama that makes $4,000 a week for 2 weeks goes into business for himself. So I did that and opened a plant. And I stayed 3 weeks with my company because they needed another week. And I got to my plant a week too late. I lost the customers that I had started the plant for. Long story short, I worked a year for that, lost a lot of money, kind of went broke, and then I had to, after a year, come back together and start trying to pay the bills again. Yeah. And I ended up getting in the sheet business. So I started out making sheets out of remnants. There was a plant in eastern Alabama that sold remnant sheeting out of one of the Springs plants. They bought their pound goods, and I went and paid $1 a pound for these goods. I still remember it. And I went and bought, my mother and my mother-in-law both gave me fitted sheets. 2 fitted sheets, and I went to Walmart and wrote down the sizes of the flats and the pillowcases, and I went and bought $60 worth of that fabric, and I went back, and in a week, I went and bought 200, I think, and within a week, it came to me one night how to make sheets from remnants, and that's how we got started. So my sister-in-law helped me for a while, and we went a few days, and I went to buy a bandana cloth I was still doing T-shirt work and bandanas and things like Hank Williams Jr. was one of my customers. And I went to buy bandana cloth went to Georgia and to buy for Hank. And when I got there, they didn't have any other cloth that I went for, of course. And as I was walking out, I looked through a door happenstance. So I just kind of looked to the right, and I looked like they were making sheets up there. And I told the guy that I was buying from, I said, "Do you make sheets?" He said, "Oh yeah, we're making sheets." I said, "Well, I make sheets also," and I made $60 worth of them. And they were actually making turning thirds and seconds into sheets from Thomas & Mills and sell them to the 5 and dime stores. So what happened, they were such nice people. I did my samples. We negotiated a price. I always love to tell him, he came back, I went home, and he cut my price 50 cents. And I put my hand over the phone. I said, "Excuse me just a moment." I looked at my wife. I said, "I've already figured my price, and it's 50 cents less." I said, "I don't know that I can afford, but I don't know what to do. What do you think?" And she said, "Oh, do what you think's best," which made me feel really good. And I said, "Well, a small piece of pie is better than no pie, and we don't have any pie right now." Started laughing, so I took the deal, and they allowed me to backdate an invoice by the week. So I delivered every week, and they'd pay me for the previous week, and it gave me enough money to buy cloth, and I contracted cut and sewed it, and then delivered every week. And we did that for a while, and then I got into my father-in-law actually co-signed with me for a note for $3,500 to build a 1,000-square-foot building, and that's how we started producing.
Wow!
And from that point, we started growing into contract work. So
yeah, and so this was when was this? 80s, 90s,
mid 80s,
80s.
Yeah.
So in the mid 80s, a guy starts with a t-shirt business, ends up into the mattress sheet business. And, and I'll tell you, Snooze Mattress Company, we are just first and foremost honored to be partners with Dreamfit. And it was my first phone call. When we opened a store, I had to call, and I met Rick Vanderwood, who is a personal hero of mine and a friend of mine. You hire amazing staff. You have an amazing culture that you build here. But you've built something from nothing. And you have the biggest players in the country. Like if there's a big player, they're carrying your product. And you've come from a guy that just was thinking about a vision, and you are definitely, when we talk about the epitome of big dreamers and visionaries, Jerry, you are that guy. There is no doubt in my mind. And I've been in the mattress business for over 20 years, and the entire time you've always been the elite. The sheets that you have. And to get a good night's sleep, the sheets are the biggest. I mean, it's a big part of it. If you get the best bed in the world, but you use your old sheets, it affects your sleep, and we've told that story for a long time. But anyway, so let's fast forward a little bit. First and foremost, thanks for being here. And one other story I want to tell you is, I told you this a little bit today, and right when you got here, and something that sticks out about your character and who you are and where you come from is, I was my first show in Vegas. I was so excited to be in Vegas. I'm like, I'm going to open my mattress store. I'm going to do this. And, I had these big dreams too, nationwide, what we're doing right now and how we're doing it. But I remember walking into your showroom. I got there late. The show was closed, and this was before COVID when the show was packed. It was absolutely packed. Yeah. Show was closed. Lights were off. Everything was done. And I walked in there, and it was just a little crack in there. And I was like, oh, this is Dreamfit. I've known about you guys forever. I'm super excited and honored to be a part of this. And you stopped everything you were doing, and you were in a meeting of looked like some pretty important people. I don't know who was in there, but you stopped everything. You walked over to me, and you're like, we're always open for you, man. Can I offer you a glass of wine? How can I help? And you just your attitude from the beginning is like, customers first, and I'm here for everybody to win. And I just can't thank you enough, because that says a lot for a guy that has done what you've done and made a dent in our industry, what you've done to just say, hey, one person at a time,
That story means a lot to me. Actually, I'd forgotten about it, to tell you the truth. And it does. Everybody's important. And I guess coming from the beginnings that I came from, I've always been very sensitive to an individual, no matter where on the food chain they are, to tell you the truth.
And I love that.
So
and
thank you.
I'm excited for our future.
Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for wanting Dreamfit. It thrills me to death. We're very excited to be a partner with Snooze and you, Matt.
Same thing with you. I think that it's just begun. There's so many exciting things ahead and where we're headed together. And it's been an amazing day. We still have dinner tonight. You've got an amazing team and culture. But so let's fast forward a little bit. So you come from a guy, T-shirts, in the 80s, borrow from father-in-law. It's $3,500, 1,000 square foot. What's next? How do you build this? And you're the visionary here.
We started growing, and I kept doing the really inexpensive sheets, to tell you the truth. I kept my customer base. And then I started doing contract work. I actually ended up looking for fabric, went to New Jersey, met with this guy. He came back and wanted me to do contract work. He was the largest promotional sheet manufacturer. Okay. And I had 9 people. I was down. I couldn't get my fabric. I thought we were out of business, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
And they came in. He and 2 or 3 of his team came in to I'd stepped up now from my 1,000 square foot. I'd rented 4,200 square feet, old Quonset hut, and we all had the blue T-shirts on. We all dressed in jeans and blue T-shirts, trying to have a good impression, And he walked in. He was a bit contrary, But when he left, we had a deal. And I started in contract work. So I built from that 4,200 square foot building now rented to 10,000. So I went from 9 people to 150 people in the 90s doing contracts. So I did for a lot of the major brands. I did a lot of cutting. So I had a gentleman came to me that had 25 mattress stores in Montgomery in South Alabama, and wanted me to design a sheet that would stay on thick mattresses. And that's where our life changed considerably. So I did that, worked for actually a few weeks on my first patent, and we finally came up with a sheet with straps, secured straps on it, and I sold him $2,500, I think, worth of sheets. So that was my first sale. We got a patent and worked with that. And then in 2003, we kept doing sheet business. There again, our contract business went away in 2003. That's when the laws changed a lot, and we lowered the barriers for importation and things like that. Well, all of my major textile customers, I had $2 billion customers, right, that I dealt with, all of a sudden went away.
Yeah.
And thank God I had that patent. And I started selling Sleep Number. And Sleep Number was, I was their first vendor, actually sold them our Dreamfit product. And that's where we started selling our product into the sleep stores, into the mattress store business. So they didn't sell really high quality products. So it was really a kind of a fight. So we really stayed in there and kind of fought with it. And it's built up now. Really quick forward from that first customer being Sleep Number to now we have over 1 million square feet, 1 million to 1,000,001 square feet, and 450 employees, and I have 14 patents now instead of 1.
Wow.
So very thankful for customers like you, and that we can provide product and hopefully help everybody have a good night's sleep where they don't have to worry about their sheets coming off, but yet they still have that great smooth night's sleep.
Yeah, you have so much to be proud of, and you're a humble man. But I could brag about you all day long about all the amazing things you do. But where'd you come up with this idea? So you have 14 patents. Right. You were a T-shirt guy before, and how does this all happen? And I know just the day that I've spent with you, I feel like there's like 3,000 more patents in your brain that are ready to pop out to the world because your brain is nonstop. You just want to continue to think, okay, what's next? How's it next? How do I make up myself obsolete? Like, how do I just continue to grow and be better at who I am? But you've always, one thing I'm, just watching you on the sidelines, you're very protective of your culture. You're very protective of your clients, and you will lose money before you screwed somebody over, or you would lose money before you did something wrong. And I respect you more and more as I learn more about you, but you've probably made some hard decisions. You've had to make some hard money decisions to do the right thing. And I got a lot of love and respect for that, for sure. Well,
I appreciate that, man. We have tried to do the right thing because I truly believe doing the right you will always benefit. Maybe not initially, right, but the right yields the good things. You've got to do the right thing.
Absolutely. So are you an inventor? Are you a business owner? Are you a sheet guy? What are you? What defines who you are, Jerry?
That's a good question. I guess first I'm a business owner, but I try to always keep my eye out for ways to make life better for people. When we see a problem, we always try to solve it. If we can anticipate people having a problem, we'll try to solve that problem also. Kind of like we talked today, sometimes people don't even really know they have a situation until you kind of show it to them. I mean, we've got a patent that helps people put the sheet on correctly the first time. Well, after you solve that, you listen to people talking, they'll tell you what they need, right? And women start complaining, especially women, but men also, because they'll put the sheet on wrong sideways. Yeah. The first time, almost every time. Well, we solved that problem with color, and we got a patent so that we could protect our intellectual properties on that, so that people can put it on correctly the first time. So little things like that, we always try to improve, take little steps. I mean, sometimes building a great brand, which is what we're doing now and doing with you, is a lot of singles. Yeah. So you try to just improve every little bit that you can.
Yeah, and for maybe those listeners out there that have no idea what Dreamfit sheets are, I just want to tell you that it has changed the sheet game. If adjustables is something that we are we believe in them. We believe in sleep. You believe in sleep. It's not just about selling a sheet. It's about how to change the game and truly change people's life. Like if you're sleeping at night, we understand the importance of what that does for your entire day. But from an adjustable standpoint or from any sheet standpoint, Dreamfit Jerry is patented something that truly, there is an extra elastic band that goes over the four corners of this mattress that only he has, that when the base goes up, the sheets don't pop off. And as important, I'm a tall guy. You know, you've thought this through too. A bigger guy, they're oversized length, they're oversized width. So they're designed to help everybody out there. But that extra spandex skirt, how many people have fought for short sheeting themselves, and as you toss and turn all night long, the sheets end up popping off, and every morning you got to tuck them back in, and every morning they're back on top of you. Right. You solved the problem, you know, and it was a big problem that people might not have known was solvable.
Right. I hated getting up. That was one thing that prompted the patent when the gentleman asked me, because that was when the mattresses went to 18 and 19 inches thick. Nobody's sheets fit them. They always popped off. But I woke up all through the night with my face on the mattress. Yeah. And I hated that. So I'd wake up, which would ruin my night's sleep, because when you get up 2 or 3 times, you never get past REM sleep. You're always constantly so you never really rest. And that was one reason I really wanted to kind of change the market. So, it was a simple idea. To me, when you look back, it's a simple idea, but I hope it solved a lot of people's sleep problems.
Yeah, and I think the other cool thing that I respect and love about you is like that not only did you solve that problem, but you did it with quality. Yes. You refused to do something cheap and sell a cheap sheet that has a cool little band on it. You knew that you were here to change the game and really go after that customer there that understands sleep. And if they don't understand it, after they get your sheets, they're not going to go anywhere else. Yeah. Like every time we've ever sold somebody, like they get into that sheet, they're a customer for life. Like right. You've developed that customer for life for sure.
We truly believe you can. I said this one time in the industry several years ago. We believe a sheet can make someone's life better.
I agree.
And they first looked at me and kind of giggled, and then after they slept on our sheets and started thinking about it and realized what they had been sleeping on, they understood what we meant, because we do believe that once you have a good night's sleep, you can you're ready for the next day and you'll have a better life. Who of us have not had a terrible night's sleep, and the next day, I don't care how much you try, you're just not yourself. You're not 100%. So we do believe that we help people in all facets of their life.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, like, you're in it for the right reasons. You have the best product. If anybody's listening out there that's never heard of Dreamfit, go check them out. It will change your life. It truly, and we always say in our mattress business is like, we're in the sleep business, but when we sell a good night's sleep, don't put your your grandma's old sheets on there or anything like that, because it affects everything. Yes. Don't buy the high-end mattress and put your old sheets on there. What are you going to be putting those sheets on? And 70-something% of consumers buy new sheets when they buy a new mattress. And Dreamfit, I guarantee you, everybody that watches this show, if you go to Dreamfit, you're never going to go to anything else out there. There's just nothing better out there. Jerry, I just appreciate that. But what lights you up? What fires you up? Because you don't stop. You could have stopped at Dreamfit 20, 30, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Yeah. But you're always reinventing. You're always trying to figure out, okay, what's the best pillow out there? What's the best mattress pad out there? How do I continue to redefine this industry? So tell us about that.
We do look at the experience, that everything that we can do to enhance that experience, to help people begin to understand one of our products. We want them to understand all of them, because the ultimate goal, Matt, just to tell you the truth, the ultimate goal is to have everyone to have the best night's sleep. So whatever we can do to help that, because that's we stay in our lane, right? That's what we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
That's what we do. We make sheets, protectors, pillows, duvets, comforters. We want you to have the very best night's sleep. And when you think of Dreamfit, we want you to think of rest and just think of quality and know that we're there. You said something that's very important to us. We want lifelong customers. We don't want quick sales. We want somebody that will come back over and over and over, and that we can truly help be a part of their lives.
Yeah, and I think of something I said today as well is when I think of mattresses, Tempur-Pedic is the elite. They have done such an amazing job out there. And they've stuck in their lane. They've been the best at it. They've redefined the entire industry from this NASA online thing to infomercials to who we are today. But they also make the best product in the world. Yeah. The product doesn't get impressions. Like I'm such a believer in them, and we're partners with them in this whole Snooze franchise and everything that we're doing. We're very proud to be on that. But then I think of sheets. And I think of you are the Tempur-Pedic of mattresses. Dreamfit is that elite sheet that will last. I mean, I think I've had mine for well over 10 years. And some of them, and you wouldn't know that. They're actually softer probably than they were before. Like, you didn't go into this to say, how do I cut my costs? You went into this to say, how do I make the best product on the planet to go against anything else out there?
It's a very important point. Our fabric, we were talking about this. We buy the best fabric that we can possibly buy. And we have offices overseas because most of our fabrics have to be bought overseas. We cut and sew the product. We manufacture the product here for quality, but we have to buy the best products that we can. So when we start evaluating plants and evaluating our fabrics, we have standards that are 95% of the best that you can, the highest quality that you can get. And most people just don't understand that. JCPenney, for example, used to be, they were the golden standard.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, if you went to JCPenney, they were the hardest, and all of our competitors were below. I mean, it was really something if you could pass the JCPenney standards. Well, we're 20, 30, 40% better than the JCPenney standards are today. And that's just because we realize one simple thing: our sheets fit really snugly on the bed, right? Yeah. Not too snug, but snug enough. Well, you have to have an extremely peel-resistant product, fabric, because there's more friction because it doesn't move. Everyone's sheets, little things people don't think about. When you roll over, your sheets wrinkle up, right? Well, that's because they don't fit tight enough, and I hate a sheet that's wadded up under me about as bad as I do as one coming off. So for our sheet to fit so well, we have to have the best fabric that you can buy so that you have that long-lasting quality, so you can have a sheet that lasts 10 years, because that's what you want.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the thought that's gone into that. Like, you are in the sheet business, but you are truly in the sleep business.
Yes.
And so many else people are in the how do I make more profit business, and that has not been your thing. Like, your lane is to change the game and to be better at what you do. So
my family's in the business with me, and this is when I started in the business. I always thought of my children and my children having a business to come into, and that's been a major driving factor. I have 3 wonderful children, and they're all in the business.
Boys or girls?
2 boys and 1 girl.
I love that. Our core values is our first core values. You probably saw walking through is family first.
Family.
And I have 2 boys and 1 girl too. Yeah. I've got a 6-year-old boy. I got a 7, 6, and 2-year-old. So I got the same thing. Very
similar in the differences of ages. Mine's just a lot older.
Yeah. So I love that. And family is what this is all about. And it sounds like that's your why. That's why you push every day. That's why you travel. That's why you do what you do. It's to make a difference in those kids.
It is. And we've been fortunate to have a lot of people that work with us that are family also. So when we hire some people, what makes me feel so good is I have people that have worked for me. I will say work with me. I mean, for 25 and 30 years. I mean, they just don't want to retire. And it's wonderful. And we had one lady that said, Jerry, will you let me keep working? And I told her, I said, sure. I said, you've been here for 25 years. You can stay as long as you want to. Yeah. Her husband passed away. She had to take a year or so off, but she still came back. And she still wanted the job. So one thing that we try to really build in our community is that trust and that family environment. So people feel comfortable being with us and being with us a long time and knowing that we're watching out for them too. You have to have that, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it comes from the right place with you. Like, there's people that are like, hey, we're family. And no, what you do and what we're blessed to do here as well is we're blessed. I mean, I am so blessed to surround the people here, but it's a culture. It's a family. We try to do things different, but we genuinely care. Like, we want to make sure that there's something different. And you could see that in your culture. Yeah. Rick has done nothing but brag about you. I see your team here today. I've watched him. You don't grow to 450 employees without caring.
Yeah, you got to care.
You do something special. So
people can look at you and tell pretty quickly if you really care or not.
100%. Ain't that is the absolute truth. That is a good, easy quote, and that is the truth for sure. What do you think of, on our side of it, what do you think of this wake up thing and this snooze thing that you've been with today?
I have been extremely impressed. Driving to Pueblo, and I thought this is going to be really nice because I was anxious to see you again, and I didn't know what to expect. really. I was hearing great things about the concept and the Snooze concept, and I didn't realize the difference that you had the wake up and the Snooze. So, and the building here, the way you've organized it all and the people that you have are so impressive. Everybody I've met, it's been very nice, very pleasant, but you can tell they're very intelligent too, and they know what they're doing. So I am thrilled. I think you're going to be extremely successful in there again, your passion for people and for their sleep and for their comfort and having the knowledge, the background is not, I decided to go in the mattress business. No, you didn't. You've been in this business, and you're in the sleep business, and you provide a good solution, and we're excited to be a part of it. But we really are excited.
Yeah, thank you, and we're super honored. Same thing. Like I can't brag about you enough and all that you've done, and it's just an honor to have you here today. Jerry, in the building. After this, we get to go to dinner a little bit. My wife gets to meet you guys a little bit, know more about you, and you get to see how amazing my wife is too. But
I'm anxious.
It's going to be a good night. But so, to the listeners out there, I mean, this podcast is about dream big, and it's about, somebody like you that started a t-shirt shop and said, this didn't work, I'm going to pivot, to now having 450 employees, being the #1 elite sheet in the entire world. It doesn't come without hard work, sleepless nights, grind, determination, but doing what you do to level up and making sure that you didn't take your eye off the prize. So what advice do you have? And tell us, what was your biggest lesson?
I think the biggest lesson is you have to be totally committed.
Yeah.
You have to believe you're right. You have to believe in what you're doing. And I really believed, and this sounded kind of odd, but I really believed that I was supposed to make sheets. I believe God blessed me with this idea and gave me an opportunity because I was broke. I mean, and I had bills to pay, and I was tormented. None of us, I think, really enjoy having bills, and especially when you don't have the money to pay them, and you're sitting there trying to work this out. And I'm so thankful. So when I really believed it was my purpose to do the right thing, to do this, and it was the right thing, when tough times came, you had to have faith. And you had to just keep working. And I told somebody, this isn't a 8 to 5 job or a 9 to 5 or whatever. I mean, there's so many times I've worked around the clock and worked the next day or get up. You just cannot. And when it seems like everything's against you, you have to persevere.
Yeah. You
have to believe. You just have to find a way to deal with things. And you've hit. In the last 35 years, there's been several times things have come up that I could not control, that we just had to find a way around. When the quotas went away, we were talking about that earlier. When the quotas went away in 2003, we changed directions because I thought we were out of business. I didn't know what to do. I had 2 months there. I thought, I have no more customers. But we made a turn and came as far as we did here. So, I mean, it was the right thing to do. It just couldn't quit. Just could not quit.
So don't quit. Yeah, I love that, and I appreciate that, and I think that's, one thing that we learn as entrepreneurs is like the goal doesn't change, but how you get there changes every flipping day. Like you think that you have this plan and okay, that didn't work, but you don't change the goal. It's just how you get there and the perseverance to learn and keep faith and that you got to push through. Challenges is a part of the journey, and it gets easier.
It is, and you've got to be able to stay on your toes, as they say in the South. If you are stuck with the way you do things and you will not change, I mean, you won't last. You have to be able to change with the times and know when it is time to change and when you need to kind of stick it out. But you've got to be able, as you said, what you just said, you've got to have the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is what is important, and that's to be successful, be able to provide for your family and friends and be able to work with you.
Yeah,
and your customers. You got to take care of your customers. I mean,
customer first.
If you don't take care of your customers, you can't do anything. We always laugh. Everybody's got a boss. Our boss are the people that we sell to, and the people that ultimately buy your product. Everything that we do, we've talked about this earlier today, but you have to realize everything that we do has to be for the person that buys the product. Mm-hmm. The person that puts the sheet on their bed, lays their head on their pillow. You've got to have those people in mind. And I've always believed that I don't want to sell you anything that I wouldn't buy myself. And I think that's kind of a driving force. We were talking about driving forces today.
Yeah.
If you make things and sell things that you don't want yourself, I just can't do it. So can't do it very well at all.
Yeah, I love it, Jerry. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here today. Thank you for bringing your unbelievable team. Thank you for bringing passion that you have. Thanks for bringing the change in the industry.
Thank you.
Like, you're a humble man, but I could sit here and brag about you all day, but you truly have changed the game of the industry, but you've not stopped and you won't stop. And you want to continue to do what you do to be the best of the best, and you are the best of the best. And thanks, from Snooze, from Matt Smith, from all of us, who we are and how we are, we're honored to have you here today. We're honored to have your team today. So we're
honored to be here, and I can't say enough good things about you either. So thank you very, very much.
Yes. Jerry, follow this guy. Follow Dreamfit if you haven't. I'm sure you're on some social media platforms. Are you on any social media? Are you on LinkedIn or Instagram or anything?
I don't even have my picture up on LinkedIn.
He's got a LinkedIn if you want to find him. There's no picture up. I'm going to help. We're going to see what we can do to help him get his picture up. This guy's a big deal in the industry, but dreamfit.com, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Dreamfit.com. I mean, you can find them at every Snooze. I can guarantee you that for life. You'll find it on our website. You'll find it on everywhere out there, but they are the best in the industry at what they do. And just, again, thanks for changing the industry. Thanks for being part of this podcast. This has been another episode of Dream Big Podcast, where we find the biggest dreamers in the world, and we just get you a little bit of insight. Today we got a lot of insight on grit, determination, and how to change the game. So, Jerry, thanks for being a part of this. You're a blessing to this industry. You're an amazing man, and thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it very much.
Yes, God bless, and stay tuned for the next episode of Dream Big Podcast, where we will continue to find the biggest dreamers in the world and give you their story and their insight on how they've done what they've done to dream big. Dream Big Podcast, and we're out.